He turns to me and he hands me his credit card. And he goes, "Here's my card. Get us whatever."
But I'm
Oh,
certain there's something
wait.
there.
Let me do.
Maddie's mom, my ex-wife, got $2 million at the get-go.
I do know that I can look at myself and say, why did I not give him a chance?
Hello. We have another exciting video for you all today. Glad you could join me, Mother.
I'm glad to be here. I'm excited to see what we're talking about today.
Absolutely. So this influencer came across my radar, I don't know, maybe a month or two ago, some time ago. She had a viral video. She's an influencer on the regular rounds, TikTok, Instagram, etc. I'm not exactly sure. I don't follow her myself. She became viral and came across my radar. That's not why we're going over her today. This is just kind of setting up pretense for what I know about her, how I know about her. So here's what initially caught me on the radar, and we'll kind of go from there.
Okay.
I believe it's an influencer. Her name is Maddie.
Guys, I went on a date this week and I felt the feminism leaving my body. I live on the east side of LA, and if you don't know what that means, it's sort of like the artsier part of LA, you know? It's people say it's like Brooklyn and New York. So I go on dates with a lot of men and women who, you know, live over here. There's always a negotiation about who pays, and that's great. I like to pay for people, all that. But what I will say is that I sort of fell into going on a date with the most guy's guy I've ever been on a date with. And he's from West, you know, Santa Monica. He's a bro, right? A guy's guy is usually not my type. Like, I cannot remember the last time that I went on a date with like a straight bro, you know what I'm saying? But it befell me. It befell me in an organic fashion. So I'm on this date with this guy, and the thing about a guy's guy is he's putting his card down. He's paying for everything. And I really it sort of activated something feral in me, I'm not gonna lie. We went to like another bar, and he was gonna go to the bathroom, so I was getting prepared to pay for our drinks because he's been paying all night. Of course I'm gonna pay for the next round. But as he's going to leave for the bathroom, he turns to me and he hands me his credit card. And he goes, "Here's my card. Get us whatever." It might be time for me to get away from all these, you know, liberal snowflakes on the east side.
So the tweet that caught my eye here was, "Homegirl reverted back to factory settings in the presence of masculinity. 6 years of women and gender studies down the drain." Because clearly she is a pretty staunch feminist and advocate for supporting her own self, don't need no man, etc. Which, you know, more power to you if that's your thing. But that's kind of caught my radar as to why it was appearing over the virality of everything. But thoughts on this?
Do you think that this is more people your generation, your age? Because if I went on
Younger than me.
younger,
Yeah.
if I went on a date and he wanted to pay for everything, I would let him. I wouldn't feel offended. I wouldn't balk at the idea. I would make an offer.
Sure.
Let me buy the next round of drinks or whatever it may be. And see what he said. And if he feels or looks offended, have at it, dude. But again,
Is that something you've experienced? Is a man getting offended by you asking to pay?
yes.
No
Yes.
kidding.
Oh, yes. It's like, I asked you out. Well, okay,
Wow.
but, you know, if I would have asked you out, would have I had to pay for everything? I've never presented that question to anybody, but again, we're talking whole different generations.
Sure,
here.
sure. And again, you're kind of bringing up a separate thing, but there's the age-old mantra: they who ask the other person out is volunteering to pay, in a sense.
Well,
And a lot of people would agree that, you know, obviously some people disagree, but
obviously she did. I mean, I don't know how the date was generated.
it befell her, which who knows what that even means.
Right. I mean,
I can't say for sure, but I did see this come up on another content creator, and she had said that they're currently still dating as of the creation of that video.
This
girl is continuing to talk to this bro's bro, and going against her normal dating person, which is typically someone in the liberal side, very snowflakey as she puts it herself.
I don't quite understand it, because you have to get to know somebody to appreciate them,
Sure.
or not appreciate them. I mean, so if she's seeing him or talking to him again, I give her credit for that, because she stepped out of the box. But you never know who you're going to click with. You never
Sure,
know who
of
you're going to
course.
fall in love with. I mean, it could happen at the most random times with the most random person.
Right.
I mean, in all my years, there are a couple men that I dated, and at the time I wasn't that into them. However, had I give them the opportunity and I see them 10, 15, even 30 years later, it's like, man, they're a really, really good man. Why did I blow them off so easily? So I give her kudos for going for it. And if she's found somebody, you never know when you're going to find somebody or who they're going to be.
Sure. Was that an anecdote that you were saying that you've experienced, or just a general anecdote that women experience as far as this guy was a really good guy?
I that's just me.
Just you.
There's a couple years and or a couple men, not a couple years. There's a couple men that, I mean, I see them now, not so much in person since geography has changed.
Sure.
But where I've seen them, or I see them on the Facebook, and I'm like, oh my God, they're retired now, or, you know, they have a great job and they're so happy. But they have a wife, and it's like, damn, he would have been a really good catch. So what I mean, not life regrets. I don't have regrets, but I do know that I can look at myself and say, why did I not give him a chance? You know, but again, you never know who you're going to fall for. And you know, she could have left this date and said, oh my God, never again. I couldn't pay for anything. And, you know, he didn't even give me an opportunity. But hopefully, you know, maybe this is the one. Maybe it will change her
Sure.
beliefs and her ways.
Right, and I can't speak on the confirmation on whether or not they're still speaking. It's hearsay at this point, so don't quote me on it.
So
But
let us know, Maddie.
yeah. Well, to be honest, this is just the pretense to it. This isn't even what I really wanted you to see
Holy
today.
cow,
This
okay.
was just something that came across my radar. It wasn't enough to even show you. What really spawned like what I want you to react to is a more recent one that this same girl has created.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start it up here, and we can go from there.
What's a piece of trauma that you have that's funny? It has to actually be funny. I'll go first. My dad abandoned my family when I was 5 years old. That is a wife and 4 kids. He abandoned us and then pursued amateur breakdancing. And he got really good. He like blew up. Like he became like a D-list celebrity status, like viral breakdancer. He became like the oldest actively competing breakdancer in the world. Then he got on Good Morning America and talk shows, and Washington Post wrote about him, and he went super viral, and he did all these interviews, and he danced with Paula Abdul. And here, I'll show you.
To see, take a look at this 60-year-old breakdancer. Yes, 60 years old. Amazing. That's Ben Hart. He's competing at a breakdancing competition in Philadelphia, and he may not have won, but I tell you what, he is winning over a lot of people on the internet.
Yes.
He really is. Yep, he's winning over a lot of people on the internet.
Look at her giggle.
This guy wouldn't pay my medical bills. The worst part, damn it, he's good. He should not be able to move his body like that. It's like impossible. It's beautiful. Hey, Dad. Like there was no split custody or anything. Like he just like left 4 kids to do that. He may not have paid for some of my medical bills growing up, but he did give me this breakdancing merchandise. So that's him. He's on his head. Benihana is his b-boy name because his name is Ben Hart. You know, I'll get texts like this, happy birthday, ? And then like links to his breakdancing videos. So if you have funny trauma, like actual funny haha trauma, I need to hear it. Thank you.
I don't know if I have any funny trauma. Do you?
You and I both have funny haha trauma.
I have a lot of trauma. I have a lot of drama. I'm not sure how funny it all is.
I mean, when you look at it from the right angle, it all can be humorous to a certain degree.
You got to look at the positive point on
Sure.
everything, no matter what. Why not? I mean, what do you have to lose?
What are your thoughts on this particular girl's situation, though, with this tweet here? Not tweet, whatever this post is.
It's hard to say because, I mean, I've never been abandoned by my father. So I can't relate in that sense. If my father abandoned me and went on to be famous and still abandoned me and neglected me, I mean, look at Kate Hudson. You know, her dad basically abandoned them when they were young, her and her brother, and Kurt Russell stepped up and was a perfect dad figure. I mean, if you're lucky, you have somebody to take that place. It's sad for her, but it is... I don't know if I have any humorous trauma.
We'd have to consider it, but I'm certain there's something
wait. Let me say this.
This wasn't even so much an invitation for you to share your trauma like this, but if you want to share,
Okay.
keep in mind where you're sharing this.
Okay. A surprise birthday party for me. All my friends were there. It was amazing.
Okay.
Amazing. At a bar, dancing to Blurred Lines by Robin Thicke. I did the go down like the song said, fell backwards, hit my head on the back of a bar stool with a 300-pound man in it. The bar stool didn't move. And I'm done. I learned my lesson. Got to get up. So I went back to the table. All my friends are there, mind you. And I'm like, man, that's going to leave a mark. And then I'm sweating. And everybody looked at me horrified, going, why is she painting herself with blood?
Oh my god!
I did not know I was bleeding. And blood was everybody. My friend grabbed me and said, Beth, we have to go to the bathroom.
Oh my god!
And yeah, so that beautiful birthday party ended up with me getting 6 staples in my head. And party was over. And I never got dinner or birthday cake. So yeah, humorous trauma. It was funny.
That's pretty haha trauma.
Yeah.
That's pretty haha trauma.
Yeah. It was at the exact same time. Take it on down, make it hurt, and I did.
Wow.
Yeah. Thanks, Robin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it popped into my head. I guess that you could call
Counts.
that.
I think that's a pretty good example. That's
Yeah.
a pretty good example. And the follow up was the father's response to this, because the father saw this.
He did respond.
The father did see this and responded.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and watch that now.
Okay, I wake up at 6 a.m. to do some work. I get my coffee. I sit down. I open my computer. And what am I greeted with? Well, hundreds of comments calling me a deadbeat dad, a child abandoner, and all manner of other insults. So I think, what's this all about? Well, after a few minutes of investigation, I discover that my daughter, Maddie, has made a video about me. She's a screenwriter in Hollywood. She's also a big social media influencer with millions of followers. Some of her videos get millions of views. And this video has tens of millions of views. 1 million.
Yeah, so now is he just jumping on the bandwagon to get millions of her views to him?
We'll see.
I mean, obviously he's a showman, so...
Well, if you look at the shirt he's wearing, I know you're not familiar with the logo there, but that is a Bitcoin logo.
Okay.
And apparently Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. I don't know if
Correct.
you're too familiar with it, but it's just an alternative currency, and he's apparently big into it these days. So some people are saying that, yeah, this is a way for him to kind of, monetize the situation in some way.
Million likes, 20,000 comments, 40,000 bookmarks, 30,000 reposts. It's just insane. So I thought I'd better watch this video. And frankly, I was pretty chagrined by what I heard, to say the least. But honestly, the more I watch this video, the more I like it. Well, I like about 98% of it. However, I do need to correct a few statements in the video. But first, let's just watch Maddie's 90-second video. And then I'll give you my comments.
What's a piece of trauma that you have that's funny? It has to actually be funny. I'll go first. My dad abandoned my family when I was 5 years old. That is a wife and 4 kids. He abandoned us and then pursued amateur breakdancing.
Some more context is needed here. Needless to say, I will talk about this in a moment. All right, let's continue with the video.
And he got really good. He like blew up. Like he became like a D-list celebrity status, like viral breakdancer. He became like the oldest actively competing breakdancer in the world. Then he got on Good Morning America and talk shows, and Washington Post wrote about him, and he went super viral, and he did all these interviews, and he danced with Paula Abdul. And here, I'll show you.
To see, take a look at this 60-year-old breakdancer.
He's relishing in it.
Yes, he is. That's what I'm saying. He's picking up on her. But she opened the door for him.
Yeah. She set the pins up.
Correct.
In Philadelphia, and he may not have won, but I tell you what, he is winning over a lot of people on the internet. Yes. He really is. Yep. He's winning over a lot of people on the internet.
This guy wouldn't pay my medical bills.
That is not true. More on that in a minute.
He did give me this breakdancing merchandise, so that's him.
By the way, this is the quintessential. My family went to Mexico, and all they brought back was this
lousy
t-shirt.
Yeah. But that's life.
That is a nice shirt.
This is B-boy name because his name is Ben Hart. You know, I'll get texts like this, "Happy birthday?" ? And then like links to his breakdancing.
Which also, I don't think that is that out of line, personally. Because I personally went over a year without getting a birthday message from my father. But granted, my relationship was much different, and I think it's just pretty normal just for an active grown man to let birthdays slip by, especially when it seems like he's potentially a bachelor man, just kind of doing his own thing, out breakdancing and stuff. So, and she doesn't seem too upset about it either.
No,
to be fair,
she's not. Yeah, she's not morally sad or anything like that.
That's true.
You have funny trauma, like actual funny haha trauma. I need to hear it. Thank you.
Okay, in many ways I love this video. And of course, I love my daughter Maddie. And we get along great. At least I think we do. But a few corrections are in order, or at least a few things that need to be put in context. First, I can see that as a 5-year-old, Maddie would see her dad as having abandoned the family. One day I was living there, the next day I wasn't. And that will look like abandonment to a child. But married couples do get divorced about half the time in America. And I was just living a mile or so down the street in LaGrange, Illinois. We just weren't living under the same roof. Now, about not paying medical bills, that's just not correct. Here was the financial arrangement of the divorce. Maddie's mom, my ex-wife, got $2 million at the get-go.
$2 million out of the gate, and this
Do you
man
think that's true,
abandoned. I think it's as true as her side of the story.
As he said, she was 5.
Right, exactly. Like it's all he said, she said. But at the end of the day, I think I would trust his opinion, his statement a little, at least a little bit more close to being accurate. Since
But she's obviously adult now.
Right.
You know, and if there was millions of dollars involved, then, you know, you can't say he abandoned her with nothing.
Right.
Payment. Plus, I was paying her $18,000 per month in child support and alimony.
And $18,000 a month.
18,000 times 12 plus your $2 million.
Yeah, that's what, almost 200,000 a year?
Yeah, that's pretty much. I mean,
Holy cow.
That's set up as far as I'm concerned. Even at this day
live
and age.
comfortably.
Correct.
With that much money.
Yes, with 4 kids.
With 4 kids.
Yes.
And especially in LaGrange, Illinois. Like, even if it was in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And still, it might be a little, but yeah. Hey, more power to him, but was she deceived her whole life, or did she view it her way? You know, there's got to be something. I mean, and she used it as an example for people to, I mean, okay, go ahead. Let me hear more.
This was later reduced to $12,000 per month. And of course, I paid health insurance and out-of-pocket medical costs. I also put $600,000 into the kids' college fund. In all, I paid out about $5 million to my ex-wife to cover costs for her and the kids.
$5 million abandoned his family. Unreal.
It's kind of pathetically
Unreal.
sad. I mean, but who? Again, she was 5, and if he lived 2 miles down the road, I mean, if he had a part-time trip being a professional breakdancer, then have at it. It obviously sounds he could support himself
Sure.
and a family.
Yeah.
So why would you not pursue a dream?
Sure. So he's going to get more into that, but I have a couple things to say. Let me preface it by saying I think it's beautiful, the relationship that they clearly have. They're both humorously accepting this and moving forward, not really getting too stuck on anything, not taking anything too personal. I think that is beautiful. That is a healthy relationship between a father and a daughter. But with that said, I think the fact that this is coming out in social media is kind of not good, in that clearly her perception of this man is not reality, at least according to her father. So it really does feel like there are some things that need to be aired out so a negative perception doesn't continue to be held.
Do you think he went to her first before posting his video? I mean, obviously, he didn't know about her video, but
Right.
like, did he come to her first before he gets on and blast the facts that?
Good question. Was she aware of this whole situation?
Correct.
Of him sitting down and recording here.
He says he wasn't. He wasn't aware of
He
her
wasn't
video.
of her, yeah. But was she aware that the response was being
Correct. That's what I'm
recorded?
saying. Did he?
Right.
Did
That's
he
a good
reach
question.
out to her and say, "Look, I'm gonna rebut your video"?
Right.
You know, but let's just get one thing perfectly clear. I did not abandon you and your mother.
Right. And that is, I think, where the real issue that needs to be examined here is that dirty laundry, if you will, for lack of better terminology, these things should be resolved off the internet, because this, while I guess it could be interpreted even as healthy, because these feelings aren't being swept under the rug, at least. You know, they're being acknowledged, however they may be publicly.
His title is "My Daughter Posted Viral Video Trashing Me." I mean, and that like we said, or he said also, she was 5.
Right.
But I mean, did they live poorly? Did they have serious financial issues? You know, was this something that her mother said? Well, if your dad would have left, I wouldn't have money to pay. I would have, you know, I mean, so yeah, there's a lot to this. So, I mean, this all could be for shit and giggles, just for fun.
This could all be scripted.
Correct. Right.
This could all be scripted. He's clearly reading a script here.
He looks like he's reading something.
100%. Yeah.
Yes.
Whether it's like a loose guidelines for how to continue or word for word. But, and that's,
He didn't want to miss a point.
and I respect that. I think that's a very good thing to do. But she wasn't. She was going more off the cuff. That was more impromptu. She was just kind of thinking of funny haha trauma in her life and shared this anecdote, this little private story. But unfortunately, it kind of showed her skewed perception of her father that, to be fair, I don't think is fair for this guy. I kind of feel like he initially was upset about it, it seemed. You know, he was a little bit offended.
And truly surprised.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Taken aback.
So what was she told growing up? That's what I want to know, you know?
And this is in 2005 dollars. So add 50% to account for inflation.
Oh, so it wasn't 5 million. It was closer to 7.5 million. So clearly he's doing well for himself and supporting the family.
Right.
I think abandon is such a harsh word to describe this situation. Clearly she was not struggling in life.
No, she's made something of herself.
Well, whether or not that was because she was born with a silver spoon in her mouth is, hearsay. It's
No,
neither
but
here
I'm
nor
just
there.
saying she didn't suffer to the point of depression or
Well, she's living in East California at 20-something, which is pretty impressive,
Right. But that's what
So.
I'm saying. She's not,
True, yeah.
she's made something of her life. So
Right.
obviously, whoever is responsible, obviously, if her mother has had her since she was 5. But again, it makes me fear, what did her mother tell her? Really?
In other words, I was not a deadbeat dad at all. And by the way, Maddie did not say that in her video. But a lot of the comments assume that and say that.
It's good on him that he acknowledges that.
That she did not say
Yeah.
that.
Which, again, is part of that healthy bond between the two. So, kudos.
Now, of course, there was no way for Maddie to know how much I was paying because she was a kid. This wasn't something I talked about. Also, remember that I was living 1 mile down the road from the kids in LaGrange, Illinois. Sidewalks all the way. An easy walk or bike
Suburbs.
ride. I saw the kids all the time. No abandonment, just a divorce. Was I at fault in the divorce? Yeah, I would say I was about 70% at fault. I own that. Maddie's mom and I were really not compatible in many ways. We were compatible in some ways, but not in other ways. Do I regret marrying Maddie's mom? No, absolutely not. If I had not married Maddie's mom, Maddie and her 3 siblings would not have been born. They would not have existed. The kids have turned out great. Maddie graduated from Northwestern University and is a screenwriter in Hollywood. Maddie's older sister Tori is a partner at a hedge fund on Wall Street, and she's getting rich. Maddie's younger sister Olivia just graduated from college and is teaching English to first graders in Thailand. Her older brother Peter is getting a master's degree in psychology. I get along great with all my kids, including Maddie. At least I think I do. So the kids are doing just fine despite Dad's many shortcomings. One other slight correction, which I hesitate to even bring up because I love the way Maddie did this in her video. I did not abandon the family for breakdancing. I have a career. I'm in the advertising business, built an ad agency. That's how I was able to afford to pay Maddie's mom $5 million. Maddie's mom and I separated in 2004 and divorced in 2005. I took up breakdancing entirely by accident in 2012 as a way to get in shape at the age of 54. I then just kept doing it. I'm now age 66. Now, some of you might be wondering, can he still breakdance at age 66?
Bet so.
Well, I don't know. Let's see. I'll give it a try. Okay, Maddie, let's see how the old man does.
Definitely into Bitcoin.
Yeah. Really, truly impressive, though.
I'm
Massive
impressed.
props to
I
the
could
man.
not do that.
The main point is that it's never too late to start breakdancing. I started when I was age 54. I'm now age 66. So there's really no excuse for anyone not to be breakdancing.
Not to pursue their
So
dreams.
the bottom line is this. At first, I really did not like Maddie's video at all. But I was biased by all the negative comments that I was greeted with at 6 a.m. in the morning in my social media feed. But the more I watch the video, the more I like it. And her video certainly is true from her perspective, even though a few details are off. No doubt because of what she heard from her mom. And I do think it's a great...
Boom.
Exactly like I figured.
No doubt because of what she heard from her mom.
That's what I said. I mean, it had to be.
It is the only option. I just want to take a second to thank my wonderful mom for not talking massive shit on my father, even though they were divorced and separated.
I do now, though. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, because I have seen plenty of examples of parents weaponizing a relationship against the divorced parent, and I think that is inhumane. So, whether or not, I think some people may even do it subconsciously, like it's just kind of just a way to cope almost. Not that gives it any, allowance or credence.
Right.
But I definitely think it's one of the more commonly seen minor evils of the world. It's not like vastly evil in that, because this girl ended up just fine, in
Correct.
life.
And her siblings as well.
Right. So it wasn't like a massive evil that she inflicted upon them, but this skewed perception came out right in this moment. And it was just sad that her father had to experience that, almost a sense of betrayal from her daughter in that moment.
And it couldn't have been that badly, as he said, these are things that she knows and heard and lived with. And obviously she got things from her mom, but obviously it's not been as bad because he said he spent time with the kids all the time. And I give him, again, more credit because he could have just been, how could she do this to me? This is awful.
Right.
But he's got a valid point, and he obviously works hard himself.
Sure.
So I give them both kudos to a degree, but I just wonder if it's something that should have been discussed, as you said, off media.
Right. But the thing about it is it's kind of a catch-22 whereby you don't exactly talk about how you see someone. It's not like she's going to confess to her father, I still can't believe that you abandoned me when you were 5, Dad. It seemed like she's almost closeted that trauma, if you will,
right,
so harshly that it was not even discussed. It was just kind of something that it was just, haha, it just kind of happened. It shaped me. It is what it is. And then here, let me share it with the world. And he received, obviously, the backlash from her following and received, I don't know, that to me, it seems like it would sting harsh. I can't imagine, obviously, I don't have any kids or anything, but I will say I can see it hurting a lot
for sure.
to get that from your daughter,
for sure.
from your daughter's actions directly.
Because it hurts. I'm surprised he's literally taking it this well, but
Absolutely.
obviously he's
a learned man, very stoic. I have massive respect
obviously
for him.
very wealthy. Are you married now? No, I'm kidding. Actually, I'm not, but are you married? No.
I would be curious to hear the mother's response next. So far as I know, there hasn't been anything from the mother, but seeing his response was absolutely like, wow, I need to share this with you because this is pretty cool to see all of this whole story unfold here.
Yeah, it's definitely got multi-layers.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like he ends with the positive message, exactly what you were saying earlier, just kind of following your dreams, and no matter the odds, even if it seems like you're starting too late, follow your passions. And I firmly agree with that.
I think you said something to me yesterday about the same effect. When I said, oh man, I should have been a heavy equipment operator. It's something I've always dreamt about. And as you say to me, it's never too late, Mom. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's not.
Maybe it's not.
Maybe it's not.
Any final thoughts on Maddie or her father here, Mom?
As you said, I'd love to hear feedback from her mother, but I give them both kudos because they both seem to be stable individuals.
Sure.
With their life on track, and more power to them. I'm happy for them both. Abandonment or not.
Sincerely, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the issue with social media, especially where you can use a word that may be misconstrued or maybe perhaps a little bit harsher than it needs to be. And all of a sudden the perception for thousands of people is going to be skewed to the point of saying awful things to this man and hurting his feelings, unfortunately.
He's got quite a crowd there, and I'm happy for him. And again, are you married?
Go ahead and like and subscribe the channel. Thank you so much for watching.
We'll be back.
Cheers, y'all.
Peace.